Hello everyone, this is Jaya for the session of digitalization. Today we'll discuss why digitalization is so important for the business model. So my first slide comprises of the scenario where there are two friends in the name of Bob and David and who are working in a business tours where Bob is earning less and David is earning more. So, what is the reason behind why Bob is earning less and David is earning more? So, the reason is that Bob is using the traditional way to run his business, which is more difficult, more tougher these days. But whereas David is doing in a digitalization way, while putting all the documents, approval, bookings, everything in a digitalization method and giving the services to the customer from time to time, where the customers are really happy and they are coming back again and again to give more and more business. But here, David is just struggling to get those business because of the reason that he's doing in a traditional way. He's doing all the paperwork. Uh, a very time consuming thing is there where he's just struggling to do that and keeping the customers happy. So the customer is not ready to wait for that much time to get his services done. Whereas in a David's part of business, the people are really very happy because they are getting a quick resolution for their services. So this is how where the difference comes between a traditional and digitalization method. And that is the reason why David is earning more and more every day and making his business grow. So now we'll discuss what is the actual difference between these two methods. So if we go for a traditional method, they are a difference, like it's a very time consuming, a lot of manpower is used, the risk of errors is very high and a very slow processing, which is nowadays not acceptable if we are using in a traditional way. But if we are doing in a digitalized way, in an online platform, there are a less time consumption, less manpower is used, faster processing, and the risk of errors is very less. So that is the reason why people only turn for a digitalization method, because it's a very less time consumption and it can do we can do it from anywhere by sitting in the office or by sitting at a home, so we can able to do this part. So the people always choose the digitalization method over the traditional method. So now we'll discuss what is digitalization. If we talk about digitalization, digitalization is comprises of four things, that is technology, data, automation, plus the change of the organizational chart. So when I talk about the technology, if we are using different apps, so there is a technology when we use in our websites. There are some technologies. If the technology is not there, we can't use anything. The apps will not be there. So in a technology, the consumer always required a good interface. It should easy to manage, to navigate everything. So technology plays a vital role when we talk about digitalization. Second, we talk about the automation process. The automation process also uses, which is connected to the technology, when it uses the technology to automate the complex business processes that makes the business smooth. If we automate that process, it centralizes the information, it reduces the requirement from the input of the people. So this is how the automation process plays a role in that digitalization. Now comes the data compilation. So when we are working on our brand, on our company, so there are a lot of data is there. So when we want to do an analyzation, or we want to see how much our brand is growing, or what is the percentage the people are liking it, so we can compile it online. We can keep all the documents secured in an online platform, so that it becomes easy for us to uh, take it and just compare the things to the previous year or to the current year. So this is how digitalization plays a very vital role when we are doing a business on an online platform, which is really very interesting, which becomes a little bit easier for both the business people and as well as for the domestic people. So now we come with the importance of digitalization. So, what we understood about the importance of digitalization is the main thing is the errors. The risk of the efficiency in the work is more rather than creating the errors. Let's say, if in a traditional way, when we do some work or even when we draft some letter or a document, if I say, so we can create when we are doing in a traditional way, there are the chances that the risk is too high. But when we are doing in an online platform, when we are doing it in a draft in a laptop, so we can just manage those errors to be rectified. We can fix that. We can get fix the lines which we wanted. So this is how the risk of errors is very less when we are drafting anything on an online platform. But whereas if we say in the traditional method, it is really not very easy to come through because we will get one or two errors, but how much carefully we'll do, it will be errors in there. You can't avoid that, but in digitalization method, you can avoid that. You can try to get through it. You can rectify each and everything in that online platform. Second part would be the importance in digitalization would be the retention of the customers. Why it is important, if you ask, it is very important because when if there's no consumers on your platform or on your website, so your business cannot grow, it cannot be talked about, it cannot be very much known to the people. So the reason behind whatever the customers are there with you, we can retain those customers so that we can get the repeat purchases, so that we can also try to help the query of the consumer. This is a one way you can retrain those customers. Even these customers, if they are happy with your service, they can also recommend your website, your brand, your company to the other people. This is the point where you can grab the attention. In another way, if we talk about that, whenever you want to promote your brand and your company, it can be done through email marketing, or it can be do by um, promoting on a social media pages where you can grab more customers for your company, for your website. So if you try to retrieve those customers, try to retain those potential customers, that would be much easier to grow your business smooth, and that is where the digitalization come into the action. So for me, these two are really very important. First is the efficiency, and second is the retain of the customers. So when we do these two things, when we try to synchronize these two things, that becomes really, really important. It plays a vital role when we are running an online business on that particular platform. So these are the two main ingredients for a digitalization in a business module, and that is the importance comes into it. Third, when whatever the documents what we draft or what we keep for our, whether it is a compilation of a data or whatever it is. So when we keep these data on an online platform, if it is something happens, your laptop crashes or something, the data has been crashed or something, so there is a chance where we can retrieve it, we can fix it. But can you get through that in a traditional way? Can we get these things? Can we get these advantages? No. If the document is lost, we can't get through it. We have to make it another document for the same, and we have to put all the things in it again. So that is a more hard work, more time consumption. Whereas if it is lost in a online platform, we can retrieve it. So there it comes a difference, that is less time consumption. So this is the main thing where the time consumption is less in a digitalization method, but in if we see in a traditional way, that there is most of the time is consumed to make the things, the manpower is used. But in a digitalization method, there's a less time consumption, less manpower is there, and your work is done instantly. You are getting the resolution quickly rather than waiting for your resolution to be served. And this is how the importance of digitalization is there when we are working on an online platform. So now we come for the examples of digitalization. So what we can say about, I can give you my example for a digitalization. So earlier I used to go to the bank, and if not a bank, or if I wanted to purchase a product, so I used to go travel from one place to another to get that particular product, and it is a very much more time consumption. But when I'm doing it online, because I'm totally, I always purchase or looking for anything, I just do it online because it's a very less time consumption. I can get the product on time. So this is how digitalization proves a very easy and convenient way for the consumers. Secondly, I can explain the examples when we go for for a credit card, for the taking of a credit card. So we used to go to the bank and fill out the forms, giving all the documents in a traditional way. So it takes a time for like 15 to 20 days. But where, when we are talking about in a digitalization method, we just fill a form online and just put our digital signature, and goes for processing like for 2 to 3 days, and we can get that card for like in a day, I don't know, 7 or to 10 days. So I would ask you that which is more convenient. I think, in my opinion, you always suggest that digitalization is more convenient, more easy for us, rather than going in a traditional way, waiting for those 20 to 25 days that the product should come to you. And we don't know that product will deliver to you. Maybe they'll ask you to collect it from their office. So this is the most tiresome work when we go through it in a traditional way. But in a digitalization way, it is really very easy to do it. Now we come to the slide of advantages of the digitalization. So when we talk about the advantages of digitalization, first would be coming as time saving, that you all will agree. Why you will agree? Because if you want, it's not about the product. If you want to get a knowledge about a particular thing, or if you want to read a newspaper, or you want to read a book, so you can do it online instead of going and buying or seeing what the product is there. So this is where you there is a less time consumption. You can sit in your office, or if you are at home, you can do it on your laptop, so you don't have to go anywhere. Second, it's a cost saving, which I was explaining in the first, that is time saving is there. So when you're talking about cost saving, so cost saving comes into that because it is interconnected with the time saving, because whenever you buy a purchase a product, or you are seeing something, you have to travel from one place to another to get that particular product. So that is more time consumption, and plus there is a high cost. But when you are doing it at online, so that is a less time consumption, and it is a cost saving because you are doing it on your laptop. You are not going anywhere, you are not traveling any place. So there, these two parts are interconnected. Then comes the interconnection part of accuracy. When we are doing the work, the accuracy is really interconnected, because when you are doing in a digitalization method, whether you are compiling or data, whether you're booking anything, so this accuracy come hand in hand with these three factors. Then comes the easy distribution. That is also, we will say, it is interconnected. Why? Because when you are talking about your product or your website or your brand or something, you can just do it through email marketing. So how would you do it? You can just do an email marketing over sending the emails to like 100 to 2000, where this automation process comes, where you can send to many people at a one time the particular promotion of your brand, of your product, or anything. So this is how the process or automation is also interconnected with this easy distribution part. Then comes the secured. So when you are keeping all the data regarding your brand, website, everything, even your data regarding the feedbacks, or how many people are liking it, or what are their survey regarding of your product. So these things can be put it on an online platform where it is secured, and you can retrieve it at any time if it is lost. But you can't keep it in a traditional way. Last would be, I would say that which we have discussed in the importance of digitalization, retention of the customers. When you retain those customers, you will get those repeat purchases from there. Even they will recommend so that your business will grow in profits. So these are all the advantages when we are talking about the digitalization. So these factor doesn't come in a traditional way because it doesn't work in that form. But when we are using digitalization in an online platform for our business, these are really important, or we can say these are the key pointers for digitalization, which make your business smooth and which grows very fast. So that is why if these ingredients are with you or these pointers are with you, you can have your profits increase, and even you can also increase your customer base. So this is what we discussed till now. What is digitalization with a scenario and the importance with example and why it is important in a business module and with the advantages of digitalization. Now we'll come to a final case study which we are talking about when we come to the conclusion of the session. So I'm working with a US Living Lab on the behalf of that company. I will going. This is a market research consultant where we work on a simple QR code where when we register with the website, we get a unique QR code and we can then, uh, if you want an information or you want to drop a feedback or you want to understand what are the products of our company. So this is we do it from one single QR code. Nowadays, the QR code is the most unique thing where you don't have to just stand in a queue and your services are being done instantly. So QR code is really, really very easy when we talk about when we have a payment to be done. So we can just scan the QR code and get our payment done. So we are not having a hard cash with it, which you all agree. We can use a card, we can use the QR code wallet section so that we can pay off the vendors, whatever we have purchased. It can be used in hospitals as well. It can be used in education part also. So it is more easy and convenient. It is just an image, but it is really have a powerful impact on a business because while doing it, it will direct you to the correct path where you want to go. You don't have to type the website or you don't have to type the password for the same. So this is how the QR comes in a role play when you are doing an online business. So you just scan it and you get whatever if you want to do a payment or if you want any test results from the hospital or you are in education itself if you want to give any test if the kid is giving a test so he or she doesn't have to type that URL to go through. He or she can just scan it and get to the right page and start doing the test without wasting their time. So this is how the QR code is really, really important. And our company is also based on that particular QR code where as soon as we have this QR code, whatever the queries you have, whatever the questions you have with the complaints or with the information, we can just guide you in that. We can just try to help you in this regard. So after this session, I would be sharing you the link for the website as well as the calendar link where you can just mark your appointment. We'll get the mail and we'll try to resolve your matters. Even if you want to chat with us, you can put a message on our comment section. We can give you a chat. We can have a conversation also there. And I will also provide this QR code so that you can just examine it by yourself. When I'm demonstrating, it is from my side, but when you are doing, then you can get the feel of that particular QR code when you are using it in your business because it's a really important tool when you are doing the business on an online platform. So I'll just show you this is an image which I'm talking about. When we scan it, my case study is dependent on this QR code, but here this is a different from the earlier case studies. So this is a case study about a Wi-Fi where We use this particular QR code and we get immediately connected with the Wi-Fi. So earlier, whenever we used to go, whether it's a cafe or a airport or anywhere in a public place or a tourist place also, so we have to, whenever we want to join the network, we usually, what we had a pain to do it, that we have to type the URL, then we have to look out for the password, we have to run around and ask for the password. But here we made it a little very simple in the sense when we scan it. So it is immediately connected to your network wherever you are, whether you're sitting in a restaurant or you are at a tourist place or even in the airport, you just scan this QR code and you are immediately connected to the QR code. So I have scanned it and I'll show you what is the page comes. This page is automatically comes when we scan it. So this is see how instantly it comes when you scan this QR code. It's really very important for you because you don't waste the time in typing it. You get that immediately when you are talking about it. So I would suggest the QR code is a really, really important and it has a very powerful impact because now the consumers really want to go uh, to get their service instantly served instead of standing in a long queues and waiting when they will be served. So this would be the major attraction for the consumers that they have a QR code and they can go for their service instantly. That is why I'm recommending that you should come to our website. Just look out whatever it is good for your business. We can do your research work. We can provide the user experience. We can give you the insights about um, how is product, how is your website is working. So this is what we do because we are market research people and we can help you to get innovative ideas. We do the strategies. We can try to help you in every regard to get your business grow and it should be very smooth. So this is how the QR code also helps when you do it on your business, when you are sitting in a just a cafe and you many people wants to do a work in a cafe or a restaurant or anywhere if they wanted to get some document online, and if this privilege or this facility is given from your side, the consumers will be very happy and they can recommend. This is the one point of attraction of the consumer, that they are getting a free Wi-Fi and only just by connecting through that QR code. Other than that, you can just after that you can charge it, but this is like for a 10 minutes free, you can give that free Wi-Fi, and that is what nowadays people are thinking. Even if you are very good in business, you can give a free Wi-Fi. So this is only a QR code scanning, which is really, really important tool for your business to grow. So this is one of the main attraction for the consumer nowadays, wherever the person goes, whether in a tourist or a airport or shops, anywhere. So the scanning part is more convenient. It's a more friendly interface for the consumer that they just only scan it and get through it to the right direction, to the right path. So I just told you it can be used anywhere because it's a really efficient way to get through it. So for me, QR code is really cool. So I would suggest that if you go through it, you can have a number of ideas, number of things to attract your consumers. And in this particular QR code, you can put many things like your company details, or you can put your details of your product or something. So this is where you can put many things in a simple image to capture it when the person scan it. So this is a trendy way you can do it. I suppose it's a really cool way to do it to grow your business. So I would suggest you should apply it on your business, whatever you are doing, whether it is for the payment, whether it is for your Wi-Fi, whether it is for an education part. So these things are having a real importance to it. So this QR code, what we work, it is for our registration is just simply your name and your email address, and you can create your QR code. And whenever you required any assistance for us, we can we will assist you, because for us the consumers are really really important. And that is what I'm saying, that try to visit for one time at least, give a try so that you can understand what we actually do. So this is what the entire case study is about. It's a simple QR code which is used in Wi-Fi to connect the network instantly, very quickly. And this is where the QR code comes. So this is my case study for this week, dealing with the Wi-Fi. In the next week, there would be another case study with the QR code, but with the different things. So I hope you must be enjoy this session. I would be giving you the links for the same. You can try it for yourself. Try to get through whether it is helpful for you or useful. If you have any queries related to the session or you want to connect with us, just let me know. I'll just connect with you and we'll try to solve your queries, whatever you want. So I should tell you to give a good try for it, because this is a really cool thing to do for your business. So everybody wants the innovative ideas. Everybody wants to get their branding awareness. Everybody wants to get their market place to be good, so that their product should have a recognized, should have been a good feedback for your product. So we can able to help you out. We can give you the insight of the users, that how is your brand is growing or how your product is growing. So just try to come to our website and get through it. And if you have any issues, just let me know on this uh, comment section. Hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you so much.